As an educator, I've often talked about wanting to nurture a love of learning in our students and in our children. And I think that's fundamentally a good thing. But I've been wondering about it recently. I've been talking to some of the schools that I work with, some of the parents that I work with. And I wonder if talking about nurturing a love of learning isn't missing the mark just a little bit. I think what we need to do is actually nurture a love of challenge. Because when we can learn easy things we haven't done yet. We can stay in our comfort zone. That sort of learning doesn't help us grow. But when we nurture a love of challenge, that idea of going out and seeking things that we don't immediately know the answer to, in the way JFK talks about it, as we do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. When we recognise that the type of learning that a challenge will bring about is the type of learning that helps us grow. We don't end up with just one more thing that we've learned. We actually leverage that challenge to change who we are. And I was talking to one of the principals that I work with recently, and he's been focusing on that love of challenge. He talks about his students bettering their best. And he talks about how that attitude of wanting to seek out hard things plays out not just in the classroom, but plays out in the yard and at home and in other places as well. And I'm reminded also of another school that I was working with, where they worked hard on shifting a mindset to be one of embracing challenge. And the story that I was told about a student was that he came up to the teacher and said, "Miss, this class better be hard because I don't want to waste my time on easy stuff." Now, he loved learning, but what he was coming to class for was the challenge. He knew the challenge was going to change him. It didn't matter what he was learning about. What mattered was that he was being challenged. And so I think as we work with our children, if we focus not just on developing a love of learning, but to help them become what we might call those creatures of discomfort, to embrace, seek and amplify the discomfort, the challenge, for the opportunity helps them to grow. I think if we focus on that, not just the love of learning, but the love of challenge, we set our children up not just to survive in a rapidly changing and increasingly complex world, but we set them up to thrive in that world.